Howdy. My name is Brian R. Smith, and I'm taking a mobile gaming master's at Full Sail University. This presentation is going to take us through the 12-month journey and highlight some of the things that I want to do to maximize my learning and maximize my growth in this new industry for me. I've broken up the presentation into 4 different chunks. The first 3 are part of the presentation. First thing I'm going to do is give you an overview of the 12 months of education and classes that I'll be attending at Full Sail University. And then I want to take each one of those and break them up into my monthly goals and tactics. And then finally, at the end, give you a list of some of the networking and resources, people, places, and things that I want to leverage through the course of my learning today, tomorrow, and then far into the future. So here's part of the timeline. The first class is Mastery, Personal Development and Leadership. And this is a You Are Here. And this is very useful for networking, learning the Full Sail University online tech, and some of the academic standards. The next class I'll be taking next month is Computer Science for Engineers. Looking very much forward to this. I always love to program, and any opportunity to learn additional programming skills is fantastic. And then approaches to game design. And here I'm going to zero in on my capstone project. I've got a lot of ideas for games, but I really want to start focusing and narrowing down the approach to which game I want to use as my capstone project. The next 3 sessions are game development frameworks, and I know very little about this. All my previous games are for Windows, so I'm really looking forward to learning about this in the mobile environment. Next is Agile software engineering, and I've used Agile in the past at a large multinational corporation, but a refresher is always a good thing. And then usability engineering, I've also done this at a large multinational corporation, but here I want to flesh out my understanding of a user experience, and again, specifically in the mobile environment. The next 3 is mobile gaming business. Again, another thing, I know the basics, but I really want to learn more in this area. Storyboarding and game design. Wow, I've never done this. I've just created games, that I thought would be fun. And so I look forward to the peer review and be able to flesh out some of the ideas as I'm working on my capstone project. And then there's 2 months where you've got mobile game development 1 and mobile game development 2, which is a continuation of that. And here we'll be focusing, primarily working on our capstone project, but there will be some specific tasks and things that we need to be doing against that related to object-oriented programming all the way down to improving performance. And then testing, mobile game testing. And I've done a lot of testing in software applications over the years, and 1 month for testing will not be enough. So really my goal for this is to get ahead of the game and to have my game as well tested as possible even before I get to this point. So the people who are testing it, my beta reviewers and the different class participants, can have a fighting chance of getting through it. And then mobile gaming thesis, the technical writing and presentation, professional presentation, outrageously important, and this is going to be a great way to end the 12-month session at Full Sail. So now we're going to drill down into each of these classes and give you at least 3 goals that I want to accomplish, and then the tactics of how to accomplish them. So this is the You Are Here. So the first goal is to appreciate my mobile gaming mastery's journey, and of course to do that is to study and apply Robert Greene's mastery, which we've been doing through the course of this, and to create an online mastery journal. And the second is to learn how to really operate in the master's level at Full Sail University. So it really is a lot about relearning some of the academic rigor that I used to know back a long time ago when I went to Michigan Tech, but now of course applied to this degree. And what I did is I attended, gaining GPA points. I attended all the different Full Sail library, how to do research, the APA, how to write webinars, and then also too, part of that is the researching of Edmund Macmillan, indie game designer, and then writing a paper about that. So that was a very useful task. Now, the third item on here, and you'll see this carries all the way through each month and all, is that at Full Sail, the mobile gaming masters is platform agnostic. It really is more about how to create games in the mobile environment rather than worrying about if it's using Unity or some of the other different platforms. But I am not platform agnostic. And I've been using Unity for the past couple, 3 years. And so I want to continue to use Unity. So what I want to do with this, I'm not a guru with Unity. I can punch my way out of a wet paper bag, but I really am not all that good with it. So what you'll see here is my goal is to take a series of LinkedIn learning, and in this case, there's a whole class on becoming a Unity 2D developer. So take that series of classes through the course of this so that I'm not only learning full sales, kind of opening and widening the aperture in terms of how to do mobile gaming development and design, but also too focused on my rigor, my domain, my platform of Unity. So that was the first class. The second class is computer science for engineers. And here you can see, if you take a look at all three different goals and the tactics, um, the scripting language in Unity is C#. And so I really want to focus on C#. So it's identifying a textbook that I want to have for a handy, quick reference for C#, and then learning more about object-oriented programming and learning about how to program in C# for the Unity game development structure, syntax, and the C# language as it's used inside of Unity. Approaches to game design is to, the first thing I want to do is I've got, again, all these different ideas for games. I've got a lot of them kind of outlined. And what I want to do is I want to break up into that game list and really design each one of them, and then do the evaluation, as I hopefully will be learning from Full Sail, about which will be working best for mobile. Also, too, I want to explore via the Full Sail University's Flipster. I want to start reviewing the PC Gamer magazine. Mobile is a subset of the whole gaming industry, but there's a lot of great ideas. I've got great stories, a lot of inspirational things that can be learned from the PC Gamer magazine. So I want to focus. I want to start reading that. And then finally, again, more Unity, in this case, 2D scripting. Game development frameworks. Here, more learning with the LinkedIn Learning, create a platform for my first mobile game, and that is review the building online communities and then implement. So I want to start creating my platform early, so that I can then leverage the individuals who are interested in my project for alpha reviewers, for beta reviewers, and of course, the people that ultimately will be putting out some money and buying my game. So I want to start building that platform early so that I can start leveraging those individuals through the course of this master's program and not wait until the end. The second second goal is to develop my own game development framework. So development frameworks, everybody has their own way of operating, and I want to read up on them. I want to learn from Full Sail, but then I want to make it my own. I want to create my own framework that feels comfortable and sensible for me. So that'll be one of my goals for this month. And then finally, again, more Unity education, in this case, the 2D sprites. Agile software engineering. I've done a lot of Agile as I work for a large multinational corporation. So I want to take this opportunity to get a quick refresher on Agile. I haven't done it for a number of years. My last workmate that I used to work with in Ireland, Günther Herford, he's an Austrian, and he's back in Austria too. And so I'm going to have him sit down I'm going to ask him, of course, sit down and give me a refresher course on Agile. I'm sure he'll be happy to do it. In fact, we're going to be chatting tomorrow at my 2 p.m., which will be his 9 p.m., of course, there. We chat from time to time. Anyway, nice guy, and I hope to get a refresher course on Agile with that. And then too, while I'm working through the Full Sail lessons with Agile, I hope to take a mental break to reinvigorate my original mind. And the minds behind the adventure games. I grew up with all the different classic games, adventure games, Hammurabi and Adventure and Star Trek, and all the different text-based games. And of course, my family had the first Pong, and played Space Invaders at the Pizza Hut in my hometown. So I grew up during this era, and I really looking forward to kind of reading this book and just reinvigorating my original mind, because I want to work on kind of that hybrid between the technology that mobile provides and some of the structures and styles of some of the older games. And then, of course, more Unity learning. In this case, an example of 2D building an adventure game. So creating your own 2D adventure game for any target platform. Usability engineering, done some of this for a large multinational corporation. My first tactic is to read up on mapping the quality requirements for pervasive mobile games. So somebody did a study, looks like a very good one, on popular mobile games, and then what are the quality requirements that went into those popular mobile games. The next tactic and goal is to get a refresher on the user experience. My neighbor, Mr. Pauly, is a user experience engineer for the world famous Mayo Clinic here in Rochester, Minnesota, and I'll sit down with him and just learn from him what he does as part of his job. And it may not be directly related, but I'm sure it'll be somewhat related to kinds of things that I want to focus on in the mobile environment. I did reach out to him to see if they have any games from the world famous Mayo Clinic in terms of mobile games and medicine, and they don't. It might be an opportunity for a business. But anyway, that's getting way ahead of things. And then continuing with the Unity education, the 2D tile map editor. So building a tile map editor so that I can create tile maps for my sprites and be able to use them for the different textures and things in my 2D games that I want to create. Mobile gaming business, a thing that I really know very little about, so I'm really looking forward to this class. Lots of opportunities for learning. So there's reading, a review of the mobile game marketing trends. There's via the Full Sail University's Flipster, I want to return back to the PC Gamer magazine. And then more Unity lessons, this time 2D level design. So it's got a level, you got a boss, you got a level, you got a boss. And so I want to learn how to create those in Unity. Storyboarding and game design, another thing I've never done. I've just created my games, but I really want to understand and broaden my understanding of storyboarding. So there's some education that I can take from Lamont. There's the user experience design 5, and this is creating the scenarios in Storyboard. So it's another LinkedIn learning session, but specifically focused on storyboarding. And then, of course, continuing my LinkedIn learning, and it's creating mobile games for Unity. So I want to focus on those things that related to the performance of the handheld systems, the resolution, and then the special inputs like an accelerometer, so you can tick your game back and forth, maybe to drive your car. Or in one of my games, I've got a dragon that goes back and forth across the screen based upon how you're tipping you're tipping your phone. So mobile game development 1, great opportunity. You should be focusing on my capstone project. So I want to pull back out that the 24-hour trainer, that C# manual. I want to revisit with the PC Gamer idea, PC Gamer magazine. So as I'm focused on programming and focused on the game, I need to also kind of relax my mind and to return back to the basics. And then, of course, continue with the Unity education. In this case, the 2D game design and development for essential training. So it's changing the game engine, artwork, and adding sound, which I'll be working on with my program at that time too. For mobile game development 2, we've got more work with the 24-hour trainer for the C#. Again, back to the PC Gamer magazine. I want to keep refreshing and relaxing my mind, and more Unity education, in this case, the user interface. Mobile game testing, like I said here, I really want to be ahead of the game, hopefully. And so I'd like to run a beta test. And so this will be leveraging that platform. So remember earlier, I was going to create that platform, get people excited about my game idea, and have some people that would say, yeah, I'm willing to be a beta tester for that. So I can not only test it within the Full Sail University environment, my fellow students, not only test it on my own equipment, but also to get it out there into the hands of Gunter and other people in the world that would be testing it on a wide variety of different mobile devices. So I also want to understand better how to test in Unity. So I need to really review the debugging of C#. And there's a class on that comes from Unity. And then some more LinkedIn learning, and now it's on 2D pathfinding. So it's how you have objects or characters that can move around your screen, avoiding obstacles, and be able to trap the main character or or attack them or avoid things as they go around the corner of the building. And then the final class is a mobile game thesis, technical writing and professional presentation. So really practice, a lot of it is both written and oral presentations. So I've got my platform users, and also too, I'm very active in the local Rochester writers group. I write novels, by the way, also. And so they're a good group where I can really leverage and practice things and get a critical review from them. I'm very comfortable in that kind of environment. The second goal there is to understand the 3D design and drawing. I'm going to focus most likely on 2D, two-dimension, but the 3D world is quite interesting. So I want to learn more about that. There's in the Flipster, there's a 3D World magazine. I kind of just picked it up and perused through that. And also too, some more 3D work with Unity. So the essential training there. So that takes us through 12 months, right? So there's a lot of things going on, and one human can't do all these different things. So one of the things I know I need to do is to leverage my platform, leverage all the different friends and people and other industry leaders in this area. So in that light, there's an opportunity to reach out to some of these industry leaders, either by email or most of these industry leaders, they hang out on Twitter. So that's kind of where to reach out to them. But there's Jason Hinders, there's Edmund McMillan, who I did my paper on, there's Eric Barone, Brendan Chung, there's Jonathan Blow, and then there's Attila. And he's a classmate in Full Sail University with me. And but the thing is, he's also working for King, which is one of the leading game developers for the gaming industry. And so I hope to leverage him. And I'm sure he's an industry leader. He's been working for King for 5 years, and I hope to leverage some of the opportunities that he has learned to be able to learn myself through him. Clubs and organizations. There's a couple of gamers clubs here in Rochester. I haven't been a member of them, but I'm going to join them for sure. And for sure, especially the Rochester, Minnesota Retro Gaming Club, which is right up my line. And then also too, the other club that I've been a very, very, very active member of. In fact, I've written programs to help analyze novels, to be able to help basically mathematically identify what your voice is as a writer. And I help our local writers with running that program and also doing beta reviews. And of course, many people have done beta reviews for my work. And so I hope to leverage the Rochester, Minnesota writers. A lot of them are gamers too. The Personal Learning Network. Here, there's a lot of great opportunities for the PC gamer, as I mentioned before, but there's also Pocket Tactics, which focuses on the mobile game industry. There's the Ind 13, which focuses on the indie games and retro gaming. Again, what I want to do is create a hybrid of all these. So it's a great opportunity to sit down and read some of these magazines. So I've already signed up for them. Most of them are done as blogs, and so then I'll get a weekly update to my email to say, hey, here's all the new things that have come from these 4 different groups in my personal learning network. And then there's the Full Sail community. I've already followed all these. There's a coding club, the Edu Games Club. One of my game ideas, I'm a beekeeper too, and one of my game ideas is related to running a beehive, not from the queen point of view, not from a worker point of view, not from a drone point of view, but running a hive from the pheromone point of view. The pheromones control how the bees behave. And so I think by tweaking and dialing pheromones, you can then have a stronger and weaker hive. That might be interesting then with all the different external effects onto the hive to be able to tweak and recover your hive and to compete against the other hives that are in your area. Anyway, it'd be an interesting educational game. I don't know if I'm going to do that, but that's just one of the many ideas I have. So I want to understand a little bit more about that ecosystem, the edu games. And so this club would be a great opportunity to bounce some of those ideas off of those individuals. There's the International Game Developers Association, and then the Full Sail University Networking is a very active Facebook group. And so I've already participated in that, and I want to continue participating with that. So one of the things we were asked to do is to put together kind of qualities of a mentor. And I would be looking for somebody who is steeped in the mobile independent, the indie game market. And so it's kind of a subset, kind of a specialty, but that's the area that I want to focus on. knows how to monetize those kinds of games, knows how to build market and platform, and has published one or more titles. And if you find a single human with all those characteristics, they are wonderful. And then here are the references. So with that, I'd like to thank you very much for having me take you along this journey, and reach out to me. I'm Brian R. Smith. You can in lots of different places. You can find me in LinkedIn. I'm in Facebook. I'm in Twitter and in Instagram. So, and then of course here at Full Sail. So with that, thank you very much and have a great day.